The Me Too movement.
It's Me Too movement.
It's in the Me Too movement.
I will say it right now out loud. Me too.
Welcome to episode 1 of Mobilizing Me Too. In the era of hashtag Me Too, people are figuring out ways to turn the social media movement into action. Today, I'm talking to an expert who's doing that at Mount Royal University. A warning for listeners, this podcast talks about sexual assault. My name is Amber McClendon, and I'll be talking to you today.
My name is Carrie Ianson. I'm the Sexual Violence Response and Awareness Coordinator here at Mount Royal University.
Ionson's position was the first of its kind in Alberta when she was hired 2 years ago. Her job is to talk to students dealing with sexual violence, provide them with resources and assistance, and work to bring awareness to the topic on campus. It makes sense, when looking at statistics of sexual assault on university campuses around Canada, why such a position would be necessary. College-age women are about 3 times more likely to be sexually assaulted. Why is that?
One of the things that I think happens on college campuses is a group of people are already all of a sudden put into close proximity with each other. And we see this within other institutions as well, like the military, like churches, and anywhere that there's a close proximity of people. There's higher rates of sexual violence because the perpetrators are able to identify places of vulnerability, right? So it's not just that people are more vulnerable, it's that there are people that are choosing to identify those spaces of vulnerability.
Just 1 year ago, Mount Royal University, with the assistance of Ionson, rolled out a Survivors First policy which focuses on allowing the individual the ability to make their own decisions when it comes to reporting to the police or to the Office of Student Conduct. Ionson says the policy has allowed the school to support survivors with more streamlined services, but policy doesn't always equal action.
I think that sometimes one of the things that was happening, and I won't claim this among the student population, but I will say what I noticed happening with the big momentum of, sexual violence policy, standalone policy, there's a big momentum within institutions across Alberta to get those policies out. And then once they did, it was we solved the problem of sexual violence, and that's not the case, right? And a lot of it is we have a piece of paper in place, but we also need to work with, the hearts and minds of our community too. And that's probably even more important than those policy pieces. Mm-hmm. So, and also more challenging, right? More difficult things.
With the reporting on the issue, nobody is a stranger to sexual assault on university campuses in North America. From the Brock Turner case, in which he was convicted of assaulting an unconscious woman behind a dumpster at Stanford University, to Queen's University's Chance MacDonald, who was convicted of sexually assaulting a woman at a party and had his sentence postponed to complete an internship, the public is familiar with the concept. However, Ionson thinks it's more nuanced than believing it happens or not.
So we can say, sexual assault is wrong. I think if you walk across the campus, everybody will say that. But when you start to listen to some of the conversations people have, maybe of dehumanizing certain bodies, maybe of talking about, sexual assault in a really flippant way, those are the spaces and ways that we can start to work with each other in saying, no, that's also not okay, because that creates a culture that condones those instances of sexual assault, that upholds those ideas and those beliefs that those people take and take on to when they choose to sexually assault somebody.
Ionson recently helped run the hashtag #IBelieveYou campaign on campus, in which students held up a sign that says "I believe you" and had their photo taken. This was in response to the Me Too movement, showing survivors that people believe they are telling the truth about their assault. However, Ionson thinks there's more that can be taken away from the movement.
I hope that the Me Too era will also call people in to accountability who have perpetrated violence as well. And I'm not talking about necessarily like the Harvey Weinsteins and the, even though that's happening as well, but I'm talking also about, those, calling people in ways of, it might not have been, this extreme example of sexual violence, but it might have been, somebody acting in a way that is on the spectrum of violence, we could say, and really calling people to be accountable for those behaviors.
Thank you to Carrie Ionson for talking to us. You can reach out to her at C, that's the letter C, Ionson at mtroyal.ca for more on her work and volunteering. My name is Amber McClendon, and I'd like to thank Robin Welsh for helping produce this episode.